shut out. Number 6 going through shot. Big Wenji, dead speed. Busy getting everybody out on track.
Got a good grid head here.
Oh, very definitely. Yes.
Absolutely packed in the paddock. 2 rows of cars, and Marshall's trying to get them out as quickly as possible. But yeah, for a free practice session, they're going to be dealing with a fair amount of traffic early on in the session, aren't they?
Yeah. We've got in the entry people like James Tang, who's been a regular, Henry Lee Jr., who we saw in single-seaters last year, but he's gone to touring cars for this year. There's Paul Poon for Teamwork Motorsport. He's been a regular winner here over the years in things like the road sports as well as in the touring car categories. And also worth keeping an eye on is the redoubtable Geronimo Badaracco for Songwang Racing Team with his Volkswagen Golf, who again is a mainstay of the Macau entry list. Year after year, he's always there.
Yeah, a podium finisher, and with the most motor racing driverish name you could possibly ask for, couldn't you? Geronimo Badaracco back here at Macau, on car number 28 in the TCR Asia Challenge. Now, 45 minutes free practice for Formula 4 cars first thing this morning, half an hour for TCR Asia, so running through until 9:30 local time.
Chanwei Tong goes through number 42. So this outlap, you can kind of discount. It's the end of the next lap where we'll start to see lap times from drivers. One driver that it's very good to see back, driving number 1 for Evolve Racing, the Hyundai Elantra, is Lo Se-ho, who had that enormous accident at the end of last year's gear race when he was just tapped from behind by Andy Yang, and around he went. But if anybody deserves a win, it is him after that huge accident. Remember, he hit the barrel, hit by round 1 in the process. Lo Se-ho is back.
I think I was talking at the time and I didn't have words. You took over and helped me.
Oddly enough, I was watching a replay the other day.
Is that what happened?
Well, kind of. I think I was in full flow, but you then calmed it all down at the end. Quite a big
I think I was open-mouthed. Yeah,
yeah,
it was a very big accident.
The other very big accident you had to cope with was the Road Sport Challenge when they all piled in at the end.
That's right. Yes.
But we are confident that there's going to be no such dramas here. They're all going to be all behind.
Cars 68, 69. So James Tang, Lim Jin Pang. Something what happened when they left the pit lane? That's a bit early on in the session to be having an investigation, but something maybe not quite right with how they left pit lane.
Possibly going over the blend line when they shouldn't.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Right, so cars on track, and you get the feeling here, don't you, that there's a bit more, I'll say intelligence, that's the wrong word, but there's a bit more thought going into it for some to sort of stagger their pace to find themselves some clear track space. Go through, and then there's another wave, but they're all a bit bottled up here, so we need to, 1 or 2, try and clear the traffic. 42 at the head of that queue is Chanwei Tong. 7 is Mika Hao. And gradually now we have got them going on to a flying lap. 1 count, 1 has just gone through as well. So out of reservoir, and this is when you start to see the brave driver, isn't it? Speed building. Fast start to the laps. Nice and fast, it's nice and wide. But we have in the past seen that people can get themselves into stride. Sean Tong with the headlights ablaze, number 10. That Honda Civic looking rapid now.
So, half an hour of free practice, and they have been sensible. They've built themselves a little bit of space, and also given themselves the opportunity of working together as well as they make their way down towards Lisbon. That tight right-hander. Then there goes to San Francisco, another right-hander.
There's one up the escape road there, or one almost heading for the escape road.
One to the pit lane as well. One coming out the pit lane, I just spotted in the pit lane. I was just wondering if that was it Paul Poon? Yeah, I wonder if it was. 8-time winner of races here at Macau, Paul Poon.
This lap is not to see decent lap times. Lo Se-ho has also just left the pit, so running slightly out of sequence as Chanwei Tong goes
Which is a great thing to do, really, to lose any laps out on the circuit voluntarily, because the chances are that you're going to lose laps over the course of a pre-practice session at Macau because of forced closure of the session. So you have to be fairly confident that you can give away a lap or two.
But Lo Se-ho does at least know the circuit. He has that in his armoury as Lee Ka-hei comes towards us, number 27. Sean Tong still stuck behind him, heading now towards Donna Maria. And there is 28, which is Geronimo Bararaco, who is about, I think, to offer up the first real proper lap time of the session. He's coming down towards our bend. You still get the feeling they're trying to get the warmth into the Michelin tyres. It's just worthy of a note as the Golf then heads up towards the timing line, and to break the beam, Geronimo Bararaco goes fastest, 2 minutes 56.751. Now, they've got, remember, free practice, qualifying in 2 chunks and 2 races, because there's a qualification race and a race, and only 4 sets of tyres, so they've got to be careful with what they do with the rubber. Yeah,
looking after tyres is going to be fairly critical as well. Indeed. And getting the tyres up to temperature, very important. Clearly, Bararaco has done that already. That purple and yellow livery for Geronimo Bararaco as number 27 goes top, so that's Lee Ka-hei goes to the top of the times in the Audi. So they will shuffle around. They're just completing their first flying lap now, so take a little while. But yeah, the Sonveng Racing team running in that distinctive purple and yellow livery here at Macau in whatever they competed. And I really like it when a team has a known colour scheme and you can just pick out the team instantly. The first year I came here to Macau and worked was the 60th celebration year, and that was possibly one of the teams that I noted most over the course of the weekend, because I didn't know all of the teams, but because they were known by their livery, like McLaren were for so many years, known by the Marlboro livery, and over the years teams do get known. And I remember that first year, the Sonveng Racing team ran a number of cars in a number of the races over the course of the weekend. Big team.
Now we're looking at Kelvin Wong pressing on in his efforts. Also there is another of the Honda Civics. Prix is Zhang Hanbiao. And fastest has become 27 of, I think Alan said this, Lee Ka-hei, so Audi at the top of the times at the moment. But for number 23 then, of Biao, this could be an improved lap time come the end of this, because he's hustling on quite nicely.
So second is Sean Tong, and that lap time was a 2:43.197, so 4 tenths between the top two. Lee Ka-hei, top of the times, car number 27, with only 1 flying lap having been completed. So when we saw Geronimo Bararaco putting in that early benchmark time, at the end of everybody's completion of the first flying lap, he ended up down in 8th place. So car number 28 down in 8th place, car number 27, Lee Ka-hei, top of the times with a 2:42.797. Sound good, don't they?
They do. They always sound good. The TCR note. Lee Ka-hei, double Hong Kong touring car champion. I was about to tell you that Lo Se-ho had done an absolute best in the first sector, and we've also got a yellow flag out on track as well, which is slightly concerning. It's at turn 6. And that is heading up towards eternity, so it's in the early part of the lap. So hopefully, that was part of the answer for you. 85 it is. Cao Chao-hong has gone off the road, up the escape road. But Lo Se-ho is the one I'm getting excited about, because it's looking good on this lap for him. He's out of the sequence of the traffic, if you like. And you see there the fight between Zhang Hanbiao and Lee Ka-hei. Yellow flag zone approaches. But all of this shouldn't affect the lap time of Lo Se-ho, who is in the last sector now.
Sean Tong is top, incidentally, car number 10, with a 2:37.586. And the 77 car, that is, which is Ouyang Jen Wei, facing the wrong way at the moment, and just getting the car turned around in a slightly awkward three-point turn that leaves him in the middle of the circuit for a little while. That's very narrow there,
Yeah.
Bear in mind, so it really is quite tricky.
But he has got it going,
Yeah,
which is very
good
good
news.
going.
Yeah.
Lo Ho, having got all excited about his lap time, has just come into the pit lane, so he's aborted the lap, even though that would have given him a lap time. And you can see there's a bit of damage to the 77 Honda.
Yeah.
So he's, by the look of it, grazed the wall, and that's turned him around. But he has got it going, and that's the good thing. As you say, Ouyang Zheng Wei carries on in the session, and so the road is now clear.
It's got quite a bit of the circuit to complete as well with a damaged car, so it's going to be bits of the car falling off it, I think, on the road back to safety. Maybe for that reason, because you can see bits of the car dropping off.
Well, unless there's somebody else somewhere,
possibly,
or there's damage to a barrier, and then that we'll discover. But the red flag is called for, and that's the part of the reason.
That's the reason.
Same corner.
Yeah.
Right, who have we lost in all of that? 60.
Ooh, breathe in.
I'm trying to identify. Well, 33 is in the middle of it, so Deng Bao Wei.
69 is in it, which is Lim Chin Pang. Yep.
Okay. The Norris Racing Honda.
Yep.
Nothing to do with Lando, but getting caught up in it. So red flag. Just when I was feeling confident that they managed to extricate themselves quite well after the spin for Ouyang Zheng Wei, then it all unravels. 22 there, one of the Lincoln Co's, Yan Chuang. Is it Lincoln Co's or Links and Co, like Courts Marshall? Anyway.
Lincoln Co's.
Yeah, must be.
I just like the name of the team.
What, Fancy?
Fancy, yeah.
Yes. Meanwhile,
they are extricating themselves, I think.
Yeah. Which
is impressive. That's the car of Lim Chin Pang getting the 69 car up and running. So this might be, if the barriers are all okay, now we see how it happens.
That's self-induced.
Self-induced, stays in the middle of the road, unsighted.
Bang.
Tap.
But there's more.
Yeah. Wait.
Next man in.
Breathe in. Well done.
This is 33.
No, there's no way there.
Deng Bao Wei, just a little nudge.
So yeah, only a little kiss really, which is good news, which is why the cars are all able to get going again. And we are now on a session resume on short call. So so hopefully, fingers crossed, just a question of coming into pit lane. And then, by the way, I did mention that under investigation was the leaving of the pit lane for 68. James Tang, and 69 Lim Chin Pang, and both of those cars no further action.
Okay.
Cross the yellow line.
Yeah.
Exactly as you said.
So Sean Tong is the fastest then in the Team TRC Honda Civic for MacArthur. He's raced in Clio Cup China, Formula Renault. We saw him in the UK for a time in Formula Renault, but since 2015 he's been a regular Audi GT racer. And class champion in the Super Taikyu series. He's been racing in TCR in Chinese Taipei, as well as the European and Asian Le Mans series this year. So Sean Tong, very, very experienced and increasingly versatile, able to leap from sports cars, GT cars, back to touring cars.
The mark of a top driver.
Yeah, indeed.
Very impressive. So too is the TCR Asia grid for this weekend. A very impressive entry this for weekend one of the 70th anniversary. The sunshine is glinting down on the water, and as always, normal life is going on in the background. The roads open, and Macau taxis and lorries and buses going about their normal Saturday business in the background over the other side of the paddock that we can see from the commentary box. And if you look beyond the Grand Prix, you can almost forget that there's this huge motor race, the eyes of the world, the motorsport world on. I'm terribly sorry, I keep bashing your foot. I'm sorry about that. It is not on purpose.
I have another one.
Yes, you do.
No, you're right. I mean, the world watches the race, but the island, the city of Macau continues with everyday life and the economy continuing. But yet again, of course, so many more people in Macau for the next 10 days, bringing revenue to the economy.
It's interesting as well to talk to hotel staff, because one of the things about Macau is there are a lot of very impressive hotels.
That's true.
And everyone that I've spoken to in the hotel that I'm staying, all the staff that are working there, all very excited. The Grand Prix, 2 weekends, and as soon as you say you're here for the Grand Prix, their eyes light up.
Yeah.
They absolutely do. Exactly that.
And it's that international feel that is great to have. 55 you're looking at, which is Chen Chion, the team prospect Cupra.
We're back on the way.
We are almost back on the way, still being shown as a red flag as the rest of the cars coming into the pit lane. But we're now into the second half of the session. Now we go green, so some cars are being brought in.
Yeah, only 4 laps completed in the second half of the session.
Yeah, others are on the way out, so we'll get going.
So the good news is that they weren't damaging offs, so the cars could get going and extricate themselves, get back to the pit lane, and we can get the session back underway, which it is now. So Sean Tong is top of the times in car number 10. The car is blue, silver predominantly, and is team TRC, Honda FK7, TCR entry. Things getting a bit busy to get the cars back out on the circuit down in pit lane, and rightly so. With only 13.5 minutes left of this session, they need to prepare themselves well for qualifying, which is this afternoon. And as David said, it's pretty early on this afternoon, just after midday. In fact, it's the first of our qualifying sessions this afternoon. 10 past 12, 10 past midday local time, qualifying 1, and then 12:45 for Q2. So 2 sections with the top 12 competing in the session on their own. Car 22, that's the car of Yan Trang, the predominantly red fancy entered Lincoln Co.
You don't see that many Lincoln Co's on the road, but they've certainly, thanks to TCR, been able to use the sport to promote the brand, haven't they, with great success.
So I've never really got to the bottom of the Lincoln Co brand. Or was that a big, you were talking about looking after tyres, weren't you? And that was a big lock-up.
Yeah.
For the number 22 car, Yan Chang. Car 10, which tops the times, Sean Tong, still down there in pit lane, and they are wiping fluids down there, which looks to be not totally normal. That's the car that we saw before the red flag came out, limping its way back to pit lane with a bit of bodywork damage, and the team regarding it, the 77 car of Ouyang Zhenwei, the Star Cars Racing Honda, helmet off, and too much damage on that car to resume this free practice session at this point, and repairs being effected. I think most of the teams know what they're in for when they are looking after touring cars on the Macau weekend.
That's like quite a whack. That's
it has had quite a whack, yeah.
So the Evolve Racing entry, looking a little bit sorry for itself, to say the least. 11.5 minutes are on the clock. This is the run coming back down towards Fisherman's Bend, towards the end of the lap. So you're coming downhill, you think, good, I've got around the hairpin okay, now I can really push on.
I can relax now.
Yeah,
no, you can't.
No, because you're padding at 4. Fisherman's Bend can catch you out. This is our bend. Up to the end of the lap comes Tang Chi Lung. So Sean Tong remaining the fastest, gone back out. 11 more minutes of free practice remain. And speed now starts to build yet again as drivers go for a time. Others coming out of the pit lane. There's that yellow blend line, look, just in the background. Yes. Keep an eye to the Audi, which has to be clear a bit, then it can move across the road. That was Wang Chunhao. And the reason is so you don't get people from the pits getting straight into the path of quick cars. Doesn't really matter on the start of the session when everybody is purely on one line coming out of the pits, and that's why no further action was taken. Now down towards Lisboa, and it is busy and brave on the brakes. Deng Bao way up the inside there in the Honda, but he can't make the pass. Not quite, no, and that was good thinking actually, because certainly the move was being set up, but to slot in behind and just finding a time in free practice is definitely the thing to do to go into qualifying. It's not far off, you know. We are 20 past 9, just coming up to 20 past 9 local time. It's only 3 hours away, less than 3 hours away from their first qualifying session. So if there are lengthy repairs to do on the car, that is far from ideal.
And bear in mind that many of the races that we see this weekend are not in the paddock, not in the open paddock, if you like. They are underground. It's hot work down there, really hot, hard work.
It is indeed, and it's, of course, always a challenge for a team running on a street circuit, and especially for a team, unless it's based in Macau or at best Hong Kong, you've got to ship everything over here. So do you always have that last part that you would have done if you'd been on home soil, for example? It was a bit of a gamble to know what to take and what to leave behind. King Weng here going pretty nicely, number 66. Although not really at the pointy end of the times thus far, 19th in the Honda Civic. Looking out of stripe as the session dips into the final 10 minutes now. And Lo Se Ho being shown on that graphic as first position. Well, he's not yet done a lap time. What he could do is take first position, because Lo Se Ho again is doing personal bests and absolute bests in the Evolve Racing Hyundai. So we got excited before and he bailed for the pits, but this time around Lo Se Ho looking quick. Now that might get a finger wag. Look, 69 of Lim Chin Pan weaving left and right. Nobody dares go past, and so there's a whole traffic jam behind, and other people on a quick lap have completely been compromised by that.
And there are plenty of them as well. 4 or 5 cars running behind. So now, so that car has pulled away. Lim Chin Pan is the car that we're talking about. Has pulled away from the following quintet of cars. But yeah, that was a bit weird. You don't see that very often, do you?
No, I mean, the job was sort of working for him. He wanted to get warm into the rubber, but that does rather compromise the people behind. He has now sprinted away, so the pace was there, but there'll be 1 or 2 that perhaps aren't very happy about that. Right, Lo Se Ho is still pushing. He's in the last sector, so I'm keeping an eye out of our window for the number 1 Hyundai. Yeah, it's all lighting up like a fruit machine here with greens and purples. Sean Tong has done a personal best sector 1 on his next lap. Pictures show 3 abreast going down towards Lisboa. Lo Se Ho is now the fastest, so he's now done a 2:34.387 to go to the top of the times.
Yep, the runner-up in race 2 from last year goes to the top of the times in free practice. This, of course, only free practice, qualifying up until just after midday today in 2 segments, but free practice, clearly the car is going well. Number 1, Lo Se Ho, top of the times with a 2:34.387. Sean Tong, therefore, is second, car number 10, and Lee Car Hay, car number 27, remains in 3rd place, dropping down 1 place with the advent of Lo Se Ho going top. 6 minutes and 50 seconds of this free practice session remain. Let's hope they can run right the way through until the checker flag and get some proper laps in now, as they can get themselves into a bit of a groove, bit of a run.
And there, the Lincoln Co being absolutely reeled in, heading down towards Melco, where you can't overtake. And so there's going to be a pass here, I would think, coming up towards the end of the lap, because Sean Tong is looking very, very rapid indeed. He wants his top time back, but he's briefly being held up by Yan Chuang and couldn't commit to the inside line at Fisherman's. You can see the way, though, that Sean Tong's Honda moves around there. You can see the commitment that's being put into it. So Sean Tong on this lap, second fastest. He's done 4 personal best sectors, but hasn't been able to find a way around the Lincoln Co. He's bearing down on it all the time. Up towards the timing line they come, nose to tail. Over the line goes Sean Tong, and the lap is not an improvement in terms of the position. It was faster, but not fast enough to get himself back ahead of Lo Se Ho. And actually, he's still stuck, headlights ablaze, isn't he, behind that Lincoln Co.
Yeah, so this is maybe the time. This is a classic overtaking manoeuvre, setting up, going through Mandarin, get right up close to the back of the car. Okay, flash your lights if you think that's going to help, but the Lincoln Co is going pretty well as well on the run down towards Lisboa. Is there going to be a way through? Well, it's going to have to be brave, but he wiggles through, just gets through. Yeah, that was costly, wasn't it? Being that long behind one car is really costly.
So the first sector is completed on this lap by number 10, the Honda there of Sean Tong, but it's a slower first sector than he's been doing hitherto. So now he's got to try to rebuild the lap here with clear real estate ahead of him. So heading up then from San Francisco through Maternity, drop out of the hairpin, and this ever windy section of the circuit that takes you on towards Police and then Moorish. But Sean Tong now still down in the second sector, so I don't think this lap's going to go his way. What he has to do is try and build up for the next, and we've only got 5 minutes now of the session to go. With it being a long lap, you forget just how much of the session 3 or 4 laps takes.
Paul Poon started this lap. He's currently third in car 21, the 8-time winner here at Macau. Started with a purple in sector 1, but be it traffic, be it whatever, the following 2 sectors, sector 2 and 3, haven't brought fruits, either personal best or overall best. So Paul Poon looking as if potentially he's going to stay where he is, which is third at the moment for car 21, with 4 minutes of the session remain.
Hong Kong touring car champion twice over. He's also twice a winner of the Macau Touring Car Cup, not the gear race, but the Touring Car Cup, and a very experienced driver is Paul Poon, who, like many, always finds something to race every season here, whether it's in the Road Sport Challenge or the touring car options. So this lap for him
it's got clear track, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good, as you say, absolute best, 2 slower sectors, then a personal best, but he's got to find a reasonable chunk of time to get himself onto terms with Sean Tong, like a 2.5 seconds, and he finds about 3/10. So he's still third, but best of the rest, if you like, behind Lo Se-ho and Sean Tong.
But if traffic was the reason for a slower sectors 2 and 3, then maybe this lap is going to be better, because clearly the car is going well. He was able to put in an overall best in sector 1, personal best in sectors 4 and 5, and with clear track now, this might be a good one for Paul Poon. Car number 21, this is the 68 car, that's the car of James Tang. And the 68 car not on my screen, so a little way further down the order for the 68 car currently, so not in the top 13. I've got the top 13 on my screen. What is 68? Have you got the second screen there?
Sorry, 68, which is James Tang.
Oh, and, yes.
Red flag straight away.
Immediately.
And that's coming onto the pit straight. Sorry, I was looking for James Tang as all that was kicking off. It has taken out of the session 93, Wong Chun Hao, and who are the other 2? 15 looking at us is Tian Kai.
Lim Ching Pang is the 69 car.
Right. That'll be the end of the session, because there's only 2 minutes to go, and that's that.
Yeah.
Who triggered all of that, Alan? Because I was looking at the timing screen.
So I'll wait until we see the replay, actually, because I only caught the tail end of it. I just saw a car being collected, and collected in a fairly big way, actually. That's going to be a busy 3 hours for the teams.
Yes, totally.
Qualifying just under midday. The marshals well trained in what to do in these sort of events. They can get the track very clear very quickly.
The Audi escaped, didn't it?
Yeah.
So Wong Chun Hao.
I'd want to have a good look at the tyres after that, because it went over a fair bit of sharp debris to get going. Here we go. Oh, yeah, just flips the car around, doesn't it? Just get the corner slightly wrong. Yeah, that's quite a lot of damage to those 2.
Yeah, so Lim Chan Pang got it wrong and was then harpooned by Tian Kai, who came along behind him. So red flag, and with 2 minutes to go, session will not be restarted. But yeah, big damage for those 2, as Alan was suggesting, and let's see whether they make it out for qualifying.
Well, let's hope they do, but that was quite a big impact, so I'm not going to hold my breath to find out. I mean, teams do amazing things, don't they? And can turn cars around that are really quite damaged. They've only got 3 hours to do it in, less than 3 hours to do it in before their qualifying session. So we'll wait and see, but hopefully they will. Let's keep our fingers crossed. I'm sure the teams will do everything they possibly can to get the cars back out, but they are stricken. They need to be recovered. Tian Kai in the 15 car and Lim Ching Pang in the 69 car, and plenty of debris needing to be swept up as well. So many marshals can instantly get onto the scene here at Macau. It's amazing. They beaver away while a certain section of them are sweeping away the debris. The recovery truck comes into place to recover one of them, and I've no doubt that without damage to the barrier, which is what we saw at the end of the Formula 4 session first thing this morning, quite a bit of damage to the rector cell this morning down at Fisherman's after Formula 4. Took a little while to repair that, probably about 25 minutes to get the circuit furniture back ready to get cars back out. But I think we're going to get, I'm not sure the barrier is going to be too bad. It was just a little touch and a bounce the car around. The main contact happened in the middle of the circuit, didn't it?
Did indeed. You've just seen Tian Kai running away from the scene to get back to the team and perhaps explain what the damage is. And it looks as though Lim Chin Pang, the Hong Kong driver, just found a dirty part of the racetrack on the outside line, didn't he? And slithered out wide, and there was no stopping the car at that point into the barriers.
No. Pretty much became a passenger, quite a violent passenger as well, because when a car is flicked around like that, imagine what that does to you inside the car. That's it's not the most comfortable of experiences.
No, true. Well, he didn't do many laps, but the ones that he did were good enough to be fastest for Lo Se-ho, ahead of Sean Tong and Paul Poon. Lee Ka-hei was 4th, ahead of Kelvin Wong, and then 6th, Yang Chuang. 7th quickest, Chan Wen Tong. 8th fastest, Henry Lee Jr. 9th was Geronimo Bararaco, and Chung Chi-on rounded out the top 10. So 11th fastest in the end was Tang Chi-lun, ahead of Lam Chun, Hu Heng, and then Ran Wong 14th. Deng Bao Wei was ahead of Un King Weng and Tian Kai. 18th fastest was Sang Chi Lung. Ip Tak Meng 19th, and 20th quickest Zhang Han Biao, who one might have expected to be a little bit further up the order than that. 21st, Lam Chin Pang ahead of Li Jingwei, Wu Yang Zhengwei and Cao Chia Hong rounding out the times. So that brings to a close the TCR Asia Challenge, and next will be the Macau Road Sport contingent. A very, very busy entry of those cars. They'll be next on track in a few minutes' time.